parts of human beings. Tell you, the litmus test that is the Israel-Hamas war, right, continues. And it really is a spiritual litmus test in a quite a shocking way, right? I mean, this is the thing that makes you be able to decide if you're a good or a bad person, right? I mean, I would be intrigued to see if I could. I mean, I probably can't, but yeah, do anything to smooth the spaps in Candice Owens and was it Ben Shapiro? That I am not thrilled about at all. But look, Ben Shapiro can be a bit of a dick. I have to tell you, I'm not. I agree with Ben Shapiro, but only because I understand his point, and I don't think Candice does, because he's being a bit of a dick. Here, look, essentially, it's like this: that when people are lying about you, you don't know they're lying about you, and you don't understand why people are acting weirdly towards you, right? Yeah, that's like I was like a real target of this defamation campaign from the ex-rabbi who's like completely unemployable now, right? It's like, and it's so, like, it was so weird. It was absolutely so weird. So I at the time I didn't really realize why people were acting weirdly for me. Oh, because this guy was spreading rumors about me. Like, I understand. Like, what part of that do you think fits into being a rabbi or being religious? Anyway, it's the same thing with Israel, right? And I really do notice it. Israel doesn't realize that there are people lying about them all the time, right? They're like, and they don't really understand that everybody believes how widely believes the lies are. We're going to talk about a couple of those tonight, but it all basically stems from the prejudice that Jews are evil, right? So like the first one, I did like a 10-minute live stream about this on Tuesday. Like a real revelation that it always goes back to the Nakba in 1948, right? And we'll see this in the in the things we're about to watch. But the Nakba in 1948 is the we call it Yom HaSmut. It's the creation state of Israel. So the narrative of the Nakba is the evil Jews came in and they chased out 700,000 innocent, peaceful Palestinians from their homes, raping and murdering them every day. They were evil devil men that ate babies and shat out old men's skulls. They were the most evil people ever. That's basically the narrative. And they've oppressed, and for some reason they didn't wipe out the Palestinians, but they rounded them up. And they oppress them ever since, and they delight in oppressing them. So that is how Owen Jones, for example, sees the world, right? How how Jeremy Corbyn sees the world, right? Because we didn't do that, it didn't really like. It's not really, we don't really think about it. Like, we don't really think that's what people are thinking because we don't think about it because that, in our tradition, no, I wasn't there, right? But it seems to be historically bears this out that we were horribly outnumbered and outgunned. We had we were massively the underdogs. We should have been wiped out by the 4 or 5 invading armies. Right, and they told the Palestinians to get out of the way so they can. What we try to tell them to do in Gaza: get out of the way so we can get rid of the Jews. Right. Well, get out of the way so we can get rid of Hamas. And they all did that. Okie dokie. So I think they'll be back in a couple of weeks because the Jews we welcome again. Like, we had nothing, right? We had no weaponry. Everybody had like state of the art shit, and we had like World War II shit, right? I mean, I know it wasn't that far after World War II, but like early war, like broken down shit that we basically stole. Instead of having an air force, we had about 3 or 4 planes, and they would. This is something that's real. I'm not sure how many planes they had, but it was a small force. But because they didn't have any bombs, they would drop seltzer bottles of water, which would make a loud explosion and scare people, right? And that was it, right? They had a gun called the Davinka that didn't do anything apart from make a loud noise. and incredibly, yeah, we weren't wiped out, right? Now, I think this was deeply embarrassing for the Arab forces, right, and the Palestinians, who were also terrified to come back, thinking, "Oh well, whoever wins rapes, murders, and kills whoever's, we better not go back," right? Because that's again, that is normal in the Arab world. I'm just getting lots of WhatsApp saying, go away, I hate WhatsApp. 1 second. Hang on, what's that? I could reply to this. Dude, I'm streaming right now. Fine, where we're up to. So we won. We weren't wiped out, and again, I think we were the massively inferior force. So I think this was very embarrassing for the Arabs. So that's where the story of the Nakba, the evil Jew, and they chased him down. So yeah, so at the same time also there was 900,000 Jews expelled from all around Israel, from the Arab countries, which was then absorbed by Israel, right? And so, yeah, when they say, "Oh, you gotta let the children, the children's children, the children's children all come back to it," no, you ran away, right? That's how we don't have any claim, and my grandchildren, the great grandchildren, like my generation, we own half of Germany, we own half of Iran, and I'm sorry. If we get all our land back, then that's how that works. But you're making up a special rule for you and not no, doesn't work that way. Anyway, so a lot of these things were really spouted by Owen Jones and Piers Morgan. I tell you, Piers Morgan, I doss my hat to him, being I think doing the best journalism I've ever seen. Right, I think it absolutely is. I like Douglas Murray more because he's saying something that I agree with, but like Piers Morgan, socialist. I think honestly is somebody is trapped in the middle, trying to be fair to both sides, and that's why I think he's wrong in a lot of ways. But he's trying to be fair to both sides, and I think he's giving both sides a fair shake. And I vehemently disagree with a lot of his positions and stuff, right? I vehemently disagree with him. But still, I think the level of his journalism is fantastic. So again, this is 20 minutes. We're not doing the whole thing.
Commentator Owen Jones. Owen, you've been sitting there.
God, I hate Owen Jones.
Patiently, your response to Mark Regev there?
A grotesque inversion of reality. I mean, the thing about Israel.
See, again, Owen Jones speaks through his prejudice, which is Jews are always evil. And that's the only way to really explain this, right? Because here's the thing. So somebody Owen Jones, you could show, Amnesty International in 2014 said the Shifa Hospital, wherever it is a base of operation for Hamas, right? It's been and that's not they're not Israel friendly, Amnesty International, right? It's not been it's not a secret, and all of a sudden we have the whole everybody going what a hospital? No, you better prove it. And so they started showing stuff. And they had Mark Regev on before, who said, "Look, it's clearly a base again from 2014." There's no question about it whatsoever. We'll be showing you a lot more of the details there. Apparently, they found a laptop with pictures of the kidnapped hostages after they were kidnapped. Obviously, so obviously they've got caches of weapons coming out there. Let me see if I can find any. 1 second, because they got ridiculous amounts of shit they pulled out from there. It really is crazy amounts of stuff. I'm having actually. Oh God, Michael Rapport. Michael Rapport always makes me cringe. On the wrong side of freaking everything. It's Michael Rapport. As I'm scrolling through Twitter, I see somebody with a burqa. I think it's Monty Python, right? I mean, that's really what it feels like. Oh, what's it here? What's the name of the? There's is it Mossad? Oh, one second. No, yeah, one second. It's a Mossad parody account, which is very funny, if I may say so. Here, I mean, this is hilarious, right? I just have to show you this because this really is truly hilarious. And I assume, yeah, it is. It's true. It's true. It's so fun. It is so funny. Share screen. Wait, where is it? Oh, it's a Chrome tab. Okay, you know, I'm sort of schmuckler doing it this way. Let me, 1 second, let me take this off. Just realized that's a really dumb way of doing this. Hang on, we put this over here. Oh, does that still work? Let's see if I got that working. Hey, there you go. That's much better. So, again, this is a parody account, and they put this saying, if the IDF shoots a baby stroller, we'll tell at Gaza Health they start a baby stroller. Brilliant plan, Ahmed. So here, let's see what they're really saying. I can hear you. Wait a minute. Stay on this frequency. What did you get? What did you get? Anti-tank, only single missiles. The missiles. Yes, those exactly. What are they talking about? Those missiles just arrived. Did you get them? Okay, how's this guy supposed to meet you to deliver the object? When does he want to? It sounds like it's buying weed during during the evening prayer. Now I got through it. So the guy, so he can move with the weapons. He needs to bring a stroller, baby stroller. He can move with the weaponry in disguise. Okay, so he's hiding the weapons in a baby stroller. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Listen, exactly at evening prayer. Okay, so that was conversation between two Islamic jihadists about using a baby stroller to transport weapons. So which the satirical site, the Mossad the satirical yet awesome, posted, the IDF shoots a baby. If the IDF shoots a baby, we'll tell at Gaza Health they shot a baby stroller. Brilliant plan, Ahmed. And they, literally, and they repost saying IDF shoots baby stroller. Dude, that was a troll. But that like you are you dumb like Owen Jones? Really? She seemed pretty dumb, right? That seems pretty darn dumb, mate. I hate to tell you. But here, let me see if I can find the weapons caches, because it's ridiculous how many weapons they're showing right now, like bazookas and what's the name of the bloody hospital? I could just look it up. Gaza hospital weapons. Let's see where that comes up. Let's search that. Okay, fine. So I understand different medical establishments have different equipment, right? I get that, right? I get that. But this, they don't normally come with your selection of Kalashnikovs, right? And Islamic headbands. I like they got a bit of WD-40 there, ready to go, right? A few anti-tank missiles. Yeah, they shouldn't have all this stuff ready to go in a bulletproof bloody rooms. Right, I mean, more shit. This isn't in a normal hospital, okay? This isn't normal. But for the Owen Jones, that's he would just say, "Nah, Israel's lying. Israel just made that up," right? So,
like that, as if I was told the sky was blue, I'd go out the window and check just to be sure.
What did he say that's wrong?
For one thing, talking about the hospital being used as a terror base. Now, let's just bear in mind that Israel's spokespeople have a long track record of lying through their back teeth. When
look, we showed it to you, and he's like, "Oh, we're just like." So he goes on. But here, let me just whiz forward, because he can't let Piers get a bloody word in, because he wants to pontificate on everything.
What Israel's doing is not genocide.
There's a difference between Israel, you could say both Israel and Hamas have engaged in genocidal and murderous rhetoric.
No.
And I'll give you an example.
No,
Yes,
no,
they have.
no, you can't.
Benjamin Netanyahu.
No,
I can. Is it uncensored or not?
Yes. You can say
Let me quote what the Israeli authorities have said.
Go on.
Benjamin Netanyahu, when he quoted Amalek, the scriptures. What does Amalek?
It's Amalek. What in Amalek? Amalek, of which you are probably one. Cocksucking cunt.
Say he quotes Amalek when they attacked the Israelites, and what God told the Israelites to do was to kill every man, woman, child, and livestock. If I would put it to you, an Islamist leader was quoting a similarly genocidal passage.
Honestly, I'm doing exactly what he does now, but I've got to hear that in context. There is no popular support for wiping out the people of Gaza. There really isn't. Speaking of somebody who lives in the occupied territories, I have a first-hand knowledge of this, right? I mean, there is much more popular support for it now, ding-a-ling, but I want to still... I think anybody of a mature nature doesn't want that to happen, right? I think most people would much rather to de-radicalize Gaza. And I think, yes, you do that by seizing control of their media and by rebuilding and making life much better for them, right? It's exactly what the guy before him, Mark Rego, said.
Passage from the Quran, you would not, I would say,
Can I respond?
hesitate.
Can I respond?
We haven't...
No, you can't. No, I'm Owen Jones. I only get to speak because I'm Owen Jones. If anybody else speaks, I look like a twat.
But you've had a lot.
Respond to that
I'm
point.
going to respond just quickly. Israeli officials said...
No, you don't. No, you can't.
That Gaza will end up being a city of tents with no building standing. That they are attacking for damage, not for accuracy.
They never said that. They never said that's your interpretation of that, right? I am sorry. They are not attacking for damage, not accuracy. They never said that. You are lying. See, switch it in.
The agricultural minister, Avi Dikti, he said we are rolling out a new Nakba. A Nakba is the mass expulsion.
Yeah. Oh, fine. Let's see what. Yeah.
700,000 Palestinians in 1948. This is why hundreds of genocide scholars, people who are actually, unlike you and I, experts in the field of genocide studies, fear that a genocide is taking place. So the difference between Israel and...
Okay, why? Again, why would we do that? Honestly, I mean, that's right. See, this is where most Israelis and Jews are like, that's why they don't engage with this, because we don't. Why? For what reason would we want to do that? Explain it to me. But then again, we don't realize you think of us as dirty, evil Jews, right? And they go, of course, dirty, evil Jews want to do that. But we don't. You believe a myth, and your understanding of Nakba is a myth.
Hamas does not have the capacity to wipe out Israel. Israel is wiping Gaza off the map. That's the point.
You've actually exposed the weakness in your argument. Israel does have the ability to kill everyone in Gaza tomorrow, and they're not doing it. In fact, well, hang on. What they're doing...
Yeah. Oh, no, they are. It's massive. No, really?
And it's indisputable. They are issuing a number of warnings repeatedly to people to go south. Wait! And stay out of northern Gaza, right? And then they're pulverizing it with airstrikes, and now they've gone in on the ground and they're waging battle with Hamas fighters, terrorists, right? No, hang on. So my point is this. Israel could, if they wanted to, kill everyone in Gaza. They decided not to do that.
Is your definition...
So they're not... Genocide is where you want to kill everyone.
Sorry.
Oh, God. I hate it when he does this mock confused thing. Let's see when he talks about the Nakba again.
Indiscriminate bombing. Gaza. More than 2 Hiroshima bombs worth have been dropped.
It's not indiscriminate. I'm sorry. There's just a lot of Hamas there. What do you want me to tell you? It's not indiscriminate. It's very effective. That's why you're crying like a little bitch. Right? You are crying like a little bitch. Fucking hell. Couldn't give a shit about October 7th. I know you say you do. I think you're lying. I think you're lying. I think you say that because you know you have to say that to be able to smear Israel.
On East London in the space of 5 weeks.
Okay, let me ask you two
questions. No, you said Ukraine. No, I'm going to have to put this to you.
Okay.
15,000 people have now been killed now.
According to Hamas.
By the Israelis, estimate.
I mean, how many of those were enemy combatants? No, they're all innocent children. No enemy combatants whatsoever.
In Gaza. 1 in every 200 people in Gaza have now been killed. If you were to adjust for population in Ukraine. That would be 300,000 Ukrainian civilians.
Okay, but it wasn't. So again, how many of them are enemy combatants? What percentage?
300,000. There's been a terrible death toll. It's estimated by the UN 10,000 civilians have been killed.
British killed 2 million in World War II.
Since February last year. In the space of 5 weeks, a country with a much, much smaller population.
Oh, God, I can't. Let Piers get
Higher civilian death toll of the Bosnian War in a country which is twice the size in terms of population. Why isn't that genocide based?
Well, I've just answered your question by saying if Israel wanted to commit genocide, they would simply
So would Russia.
They would vaporize.
So would Russia. They would nuke Ukraine.
Russia wants to take over Ukraine.
Yes, and they want to take over Gaza.
Again, why do we want to kill everyone in Gaza? And why did it take October the 7th to make us want to do it? And why didn't we do it beforehand? Or did we always plan to do it? Yeah, I want to get to the bit where he talks about the Nakba as well. He talks about revisionist history.
And it will kill any number of Ukrainians, men, women and children in that process.
The death rate,
it's able to.
Death rate in Gaza is much higher.
The only reason it hasn't is that actually Ukraine has a large military supported by countries like the United States and is putting up one hell of a fight.
Russia has nuclear weapons.
Okay. And by the way, Ukraine gave theirs up.
Russia has an armed force.
Let me ask you.
What? No, you've got to accept this.
Hang on. No,
you've got to. No, I don't. Again, you just hate Jews and you want to believe Jews are evil. Why do we want to erase everybody in Gaza? Where is this racial hatred that you insist happens? Like, again, the Nakba never happened, mate. You're a liberal cocksucking moron that got duped.
A far lower death rate in Ukraine.
I've explained why.
I've
explained why.
You haven't explained
why. Yes, I have. Well, let me explain
Israel
again.
have made it clear.
You didn't hear me.
Israel have made it clear that they intend to occupy Gaza permanently.
Yeah, which they should not be allowed to do.
And what do
they don't want to. We don't want to be there. We just want people there who won't kill us.
Agree on that.
What did the Israeli ministry leaked intelligence? What did the intelligence ministry
it's my interview of you.
I know, but
not your interview of me.
Well, I think you need to be held to account.
Let me answer you.
Yeah, you need to be held account, Owen Jones. So let's hear you answer a question.
Answer you. Well, let me ask you two questions, which I asked Jeremy Corbyn.
Sure.
Let's get these off the table. Do you believe Hamas is a terror group?
Yes, if you engage in violence against civilian population, that's terrorism.
Okay. Wait, don't do supplementaries. Let me just ask you this. Second question, which I asked him and she couldn't answer. Should Hamas remain in power?
If I could wave a magic wand, then no.
So, yeah, but then he goes on to say yes, basically. And he says because we made peace with because Piers Morgan opposed the Iraq War.
That is did you want to keep Saddam Hussein in power?
Don't tell me what my argument was. I know what it was.
Yeah, this was good.
They rose up in 1991. Now, your argument against that was that what could happen next would be far, far worse. And you were right.
That wasn't my argument.
Well, that is the argument.
No.
Did you want to keep Saddam Hussein in power?
Like, he won't even accept it.
Tell me what my argument was. I know what it was. I was editor of the paper that waged a campaign.
Did you want Saddam Hussein to remain in power?
I did not believe that they had produced any evidence that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. I thought he had nothing to do with 9/11. Therefore, we were waging a completely irrelevant war, which I thought would stir up absolute hell in the Middle East. And you know what? I was right.
Yeah.
And actually, most of the architects of that war now concede they were wrong.
Yeah, they were wrong.
It was a horror story from start to finish. But what it did do is spark the rise of ISIS. And what the world did with ISIS was say, this crosses a moral line. We have to get rid of them. And we went after ISIS in places like Iraq and Syria.
I love his fake confused face. I don't understand. What? Do you mean you don't believe everything mindlessly that I say?
Other countries, and in bombing the hell out of ISIS, a lot of civilians got killed.
You just skipped a lot of very important history.
Wait a minute.
No, that's not what happened.
Well, that is what happened.
No, that's not what happened.
One of the consequences of the Iraq war was that ISIS became a very powerful, for a short period of time, global terror force.
So he basically goes on history and ends up agreeing with saying that's what happened.
Did I know?
No. And what happened?
We know about Al-Qaeda. I'm talking about ISIS.
What happened, for example, is Fallujah, the city of...
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
Innocent Sunni civilians. You've misunderstood. Right. They engaged in a brutal counterinsurgency...
No, I know the story.
...offensive against Al-Qaeda, and that caused something worse to emerge. what happened in Iraq.
I mean,
it seems to me
because if you brutalise
all right,
a population,
stop talking, Owen.
you will turn them into terrorists.
Stop talking.
Or extremists.
Listen,
drive them to their arms.
You make a lot of good points. I agree with a lot of things you say. Right, always have done. Actually, I find the way you say them, as you do.
I can't find anything. But again, it's all based on a deeply prejudicial view. And the question I really would like to ask people like Owen Jones: why do we want to kill everybody in Gaza? I genuinely, I don't understand the answer to that question. Right, I do not get the answer to that question. But people say that Jeremy Corbyn is an anti-Semite. He says, "Me, I don't have an anti-Semitic bone in my body," says Jeremy Corbyn. Well, you know why he thinks that? Because this is his brother. Check this out.
Actual reaction on the 7th of October when Hamas invaded Israel. What did you think? What did you feel?
Well, I was suspicious from the start because the gates were clearly opened for soldiers, whatever they were, to come in.
No, they were. I don't know what he gets this from at all, right? I don't know where he gets that from in any way.
And, then they were let out. So the whole thing...
So they broke out, you dumb cunt. I mean, how can you be saying, well, the Jews must have had thanks, they must have been there for somehow.
Whatever had happened was done with the connivance of the government of Israel, or even, they used what happened as a pretext. It was...
Again, why are we frothing at the teeth to annihilate everybody in Gaza? And, what's different now as opposed to before October 7th? I don't understand. Why do you think that's happening?
Prepared thing. And
I mean, and if we've had this genocide of Gaza for the last, 20 years, even though we've withdrawn from it, literally there's no occupation, then why has the population doubled?
People died as a consequence because of the Israeli government wanted to allow it to happen.
Do I understand correctly you're saying it was basically a false flag operation?
Yes, it was a false flag operation. That operation on that day was agreed by Israel at the highest level because they let in these soldiers.
They didn't let them in. They murdered lots of people. You are out your fucking mind, mate. I mean, you are literally out your fucking mind, right? It's like saying, oh yeah, no, they were in on it. The was it Hillsborough that went up in flames, or the other football place where they got crushed to death? Oh yeah, totally in on it. Yeah, they all knew about it. They was done on purpose, so they could get done. Yeah, that's why.
They knew the soldiers were going to kill people, which I think they did. There were also fake stories about baby beheadings, which didn't happen.
Yeah, it did. I've seen I've seen the first responders talk about it. They cut a baby out of a live woman, a pregnant woman, and killed that. I mean, it's so grotesque that we as a country have to send footage of the atrocities done to us by people like you, right? To prove people like you wrong. Piers fucking Corbyn.
So it's a bit like, the Pearl Harbor. The American government knew it was going to happen, allowed the Japanese planes in, knew some of their sailors would be killed and ships sunk, but they would get out of it the ability to join the war. And that's what they did. So here...
I mean, you're saying that like it's historical fact. I have no idea that it isn't. But, it's not historical fact, mate. I mean, you got to understand that. That's you're the brother of the guy who nearly ran the bloody country. You have a responsibility to not stir up Jew hatred.
The excuse was, it was an excuse, a pretext to launch this genocide attack. This thing they did on the 7th of October was clearly something which they'd been either tricked into or paid to do or whatever. It was timed to prepare for this genocide and to get the oil under Gaza.
I assume you've seen these posters of Israeli hostages around.
Again, what's stopping us, right? What's stopping us? I mean, so now they did. See, okay.
London, and I assume that many of them are pulled down. Almost a majority of them are pulled down within 24 hours. Why do you think that is?
because people support Palestine and they see that as opposition to Palestine and propaganda.
Why is it that they see
Why is that propaganda if it's true? Right? Again, you know, the people putting it down are scum. And everybody looks at you like you're scum when you pull them down. Right? It's like, again, this is the demarcation line. Do you look at somebody putting down a poster of a kidnapped baby like they're scum? If you do, you're a good person. If you don't, you're a bad person. It's just that simple, right? It really is that simple.
Well, I think look, what are these hostages? Now, let's think. Just go back to the 7th of October, right? What happened? The gates are open.
Well, I mean, other than the raping and the murdering. Okay, go ahead.
These soldiers,
Again, if the gates are open, why do they cut down the fences? And why do they have gliders?
or maybe they're not soldiers, they're paid operatives, I don't know, go in, collect people, and they let them out.
Collect people? Are you out your fucking mind? Collect people? That's called I'd love to see your family collected. Right? Oh, yeah, collected. I'd like to see what you do then when your family, when your kids are collected.
With these hostages an hour or two later. Well, that's done in an arranged way. So maybe these hostages are not really hostages. Some of them might be. Some of them might be just, okay, we're gonna be hostages today. You know, a fake operation. I don't know. But a big aspect of that thing on the 7th of October was fake. Was organised, was controlled.
Again, if you don't, but I'm not anti-Semitic. No. Yes, you fucking are, you cunt. Oh, man, that went on too long, right? That went on too long. Here we go. Let's get to the chat. That one, I was like, really? Man, I should have really vetted that clip more before I went through it. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. And ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.